What's going on, everybody? It's your man Cleveland Terry, and today we're going to be talking about Shure wireless microphones, specifically the wireless systems ranging from the cheapest to what I call the mid-level expensive, and we're going to see which microphone is best for you right now. Once again, thank you guys for checking out my videos. Make sure if you are a subscriber that you hit that little bell notification so you get notified when I post my latest videos. Sometimes when I post new videos and you don't have that bell icon for notifications on, you're not gonna get my latest video. So make sure that you do hit that bell notification. All right, on to the reviews. So what we have here is 3 wireless systems. We actually have 4, but the 4th one is not here, but we're still gonna talk about it. They all do very different things, so I think it's really important that as a DJ, as an MC, as somebody that's maybe just stepping into the game or has been in the game, I think sometimes price points can confuse people a little bit. So we're gonna talk about what they are, what they do, and what's good about each and every one of them. So let's start off with, that is the BLX system, the PGX system, the GLX system, which is not listed here, and the SLX system. These are 4 low to moderately high priced microphone systems. Now, a little background about Shure. Shure has been, in my opinion, one of the better microphone companies out there. They have truly dependable wireless microphones, hardwired microphones. As you can see here, I have a Shure SM58, which is kind of a standard for wired microphones. There's many different variations of this, but the SM58, the Beta 58s, these microphones are, if you play in any type of bands, these are the microphones that are across all the stages, and because they take a beating, they can really get beat around and they just do a really good job. The same thing applies to the wireless systems. Shure's name is really about reliability, and they are truly reliable. However, I think Shure's name also has allowed them to make some pretty mediocre products and get away with it. So we're gonna talk about which one is right for you and which one is the best for you, because they may not be the same in this review. So let's start with the basic bottom of the line one. Now, so the BLX microphone system starts out with a Shure Beta 58 microphone. It comes with a nice designed box, reminiscent of the SLX box, which we're gonna talk about a little later. As you can see here, based upon the designs, they are pretty much the same the way they look. I mean, they have the detachable antennas, they have the display right here, which shows you, what channel you're on and the grouping and the audio. They look very much alike. If you look at this one, same thing. It's gonna show you the channel, the group, and the audio. Very, very similar in style. As a matter of fact, look, you match them up, they're exactly the same size. So clearly we know what they were trying to do when they created this particular model of the BLX. They wanted people to think that it was like the SLX. And visually speaking, yeah, it does look a lot like it. But when you start to really take a look at the actual boxes, that's when you start to see the devil in the detail. Just by holding this SLX, that it is weighty. It's definitely a heavy box compared to this one, which feels very plasticky, not a lot in it. It's just not the same. The most important telling thing is on the actual antenna contacts. And as I don't know if you can see here, we're gonna try to let you see what I'm talking about here. This antenna contact, they are definitely of higher quality on the SLX versus the contacts are just dull and basic metal. The contacts on the SLX are definitely better, which is gonna give you a better connection with your antennas, which is, on a wireless microphone, probably the most important thing to have is a good antenna reception. Now, $249. Automatically, you're gonna say, hey, they're affordable. It's within my price range potentially. I'm a new person starting out. I should go with the BLX system. Except you shouldn't. The BLX system is hot garbage. It is trash. It is the thing you should avoid in any Shure system. The BLX is the BLX was designed just to take your money. It has horrible performance. The mic, even though it's a Beta 58, doesn't sound like a Beta 58. They've used the cheapest materials they possibly could with this particular microphone. The wireless receiver range is some of the worst I've ever seen. It might work right when you're next to it, but the moment you head out 15, 20 feet, 25 feet, all of a sudden you start to get audio outs all the time. It's not a reliable microphone. I can't recommend this. I would not buy this if I were you. Allow me, my mistake, to be your gain, because this is hot garbage. Do not buy the BLX system ever. Ever, ever, ever. If you do, you will regret it. It's not even a good B microphone, you know, like a secondary microphone that you put off to the side. It's hot garbage. Sounds like shit, travels like shit, moves like shit, frequencies. Let's move over. I think we've said enough about this one. Now, the PGX system is what I call the workhorse of all of the microphones. It's not very pretty, doesn't have a lot of bells and whistles, but it is dependable, and what it does very, very well. On the box itself, all entirely plastic. It's super, super lightweight. It has one display which displays the channel that you're on, and then it has obviously your sync button right here. Really, really straightforward. Gives you a little audio signal if you're talking in the microphone, a little audio red beep, no audio levels, just the channel that you're on, and if it's ready to go. That's it. But this particular model is priced at around $379. So about $150, $125 more than the hot garbage. But this is nowhere near hot garbage. This is actually what I would call probably one of the best sure, pardon the pun, sure fire purchases that you could make. The range is very, very good on this microphone. If you're dealing with large crowds and you're on the dance floor and maybe you're moving from the DJ to the edge of the dance floor and there are people in the middle, this one right here is gonna keep going. It's incredibly durable. As you can see, this thing has been beat to hell, been dropped several times by different MCs and has never given us issue. It has a SM58 cardioid on here, and this is an excellent sounding microphone. Is it the best sounding microphone? No, but it's definitely a good sounding microphone. I've used this thing for many, many years, never had a problem with it. On occasion, I might have to EQ myself a little bit different because it seems like it's a little more low end heavy versus the other mic I'm gonna show you in a few minutes. But it has a nice warm sound, it's clean. You just have to EQ off the bass a little bit, just a little bit, and that's all you need. Just a little bit more than this one. And if you were in the market for either one of these, without question, get the PGX system. It's just silly. You can also update this wireless microphone because all of these microphones can be paired with the system. So maybe you go from the SM58 to the Beta 87, or there's a lot of different options out there. But this is a very, very good box. Okay, now, before we move over to the SLX, let's talk about the GLX system. Now, the GLX system came out a couple years ago, and it was their new flagship system. One of the coolest things about it is, unlike any of these, when you open up the handset, you see that it takes AA batteries, okay? AA batteries, dependable, but annoying. You gotta keep buying those things, can be very frustrating. So they came out with the new wireless mic, the GLX system. It had the, they're like candy bar batteries, very, very small. They slide right in. Actually on the box themselves, there is a battery bay where you can buy a secondary battery or even the first one and plug that in, and it'll charge the microphone in the bay until it's ready to be used. Now that made it really, really appealing because one of the biggest things with these is, you know, sometimes I don't want to deal with battery. I know some people are going to say, well, at least with AA's, you know what you're going to get. You're going to get that consistency. Yes, that is very, very true. But battery technology has come a long way, especially the wireless batteries. And you can get through multiple parties on a single charge on a battery if it's a good battery. And the Shure batteries are very, very good. That's not the problem with the microphone. The microphone retails around $589, and that typically gives you like the GLX wireless with the Beta 87 microphone head unit here, like this one right here, okay? The only difference is it has a slightly different cap because it's made use of the new battery bay, and then there's a longer kind of sub antenna at the bottom, which is supposed to give you better signal quality. I say supposed to because it doesn't. The microphone sounds great because again, it is using the Beta 87 head here. The problem is the range on it is just atrocious. I mean, it probably has maybe 20 feet, 25 feet. Now, you're gonna say, well, that's not true, because if you look on the specs on the Shure side, it says 100 feet, which in a standard room should be just fine. And that's true, it should be. But you gotta read through the fine print. You see, on all the boxes out here, they all say range a little differently, okay? And the GLX system has some little wording that's different than any other wording out there, except for on the BLX. And it says up to 100 feet, but then it gives you depending on blah, blah, blahs. Now, that little thing right there, the up to and then the depending on, that's the part that I started to think about, because on the SLX system, on the ULX systems, they don't say up to, they say 100 feet, meaning they are guaranteeing that you are at least going to get.
What would you like me to convert 100 feet to?
Cancel.
Fine.
Because they are guaranteeing that at a minimum, you are going to get 100 feet out of the SLX wireless receiver system. It does not guarantee that on the GLX. In fact, it pretty much tells you right off the bat that unless you were in perfect conditions, it's not going to work right. Now, I say that because the GLX and the BLX both have the same wording on their systems. The BLX, hot garbage. GLX, hot garbage with some lipstick. And it's at $589. It's not even something you should think about buying unless you are in pristine conditions, unless that microphone never leaves your side, unless you are by the receiver the entire night. Because the moment you have to go through the crowd, you're going to start to experience audio dropouts. Now, we do use the lapel version of the GLX, which is the same box, same receiver, on our wedding ceremonies, because they're typically positioned off to the side of the mixing board, and it's never kind of falls all the way in the back. But there's still typically a line of sight where you can still hit that transmitter. You don't see that on a normal party. If you're an MC and you're out in the crowd and there's a crowd blocking your line of sight, it's blocking that receiver from receiving the transmissions. That's when you get your audio dropouts, and that's when nobody can hear you, and that's when you look like an amateur. So the GLX and the BLX systems both offer that fantastic feature of audio dropouts. So if that's what you're into, that's the best microphone for you to buy, the GLX system. I would definitely recommend that if you love experiencing audio dropouts. That's the one for you. Okay, let's move on. Now, the SLX system is what I call the industry standard. It is the mid-level to high standard. It falls at about $700, $729 or so. It is very expensive, but it's not the most expensive wireless microphone system you can get. I mean, you can move up to the ULX system and so on, and you'll pay upwards of $1,000 to $1,500 for a microphone system. Now, if you are a performer and you are a singer and you need dependability no matter where you are in that room, and even if there's thousands of people and the engineers halfway down the room, different story. Then you invest in the best possible. But if you are an MC or a DJ and then you need to make moments, or you're trying to bring a microphone to somebody so they can do their speeches and it's in between tables, well, then you start to fall back down under $1,000. And that's where this one comes in. And this is the SLX system with the Beta 87A microphone. And I've been using this microphone for several years now. And as you can see, the thing has been pristine. Now, of course, this is my microphone. This is the one we send to everybody else. As you can see the difference, mine gets taken care of, everybody else beats theirs to shit. This is the one of the best sounding microphones that you will see with the Beta 87 cardioid system. It's a very, very wonderful sound. It's very flat. It really takes your vocal impressions and transmits them through, which I can't say for anything else. I barely have to do any type of roll off on my voice on these microphones. And the only reason why is because, as you can see, I kind of have a low raspy voice. So rolling it off just helps for a little bit more clarity when I'm projecting to the crowd. A lot of people don't need to do anything with this microphone. They just plug it in, turn it on, and they sound wonderful in it. I cannot say that for all of them. Like I said, there's going to be a little more EQing on the SM58. And this one, hot garbage. Hot garbage. But the wireless receiver, old school wireless receiver, it still has the nice little green settings here. It's got the audio input, which tells you what your levels are at. It does have a menu system that you can kind of separate your channels and your transmissions. And then the sync button. All the Shures have their sync buttons located in the base of the microphones themselves. So as you open it up and you see this little red dot right here, that little red dot, that is the infrared that syncs up with the microphone to the base, which is why you can change out microphones with different receivers. Back to this. This is one of the best sounding, best combos that you can buy. It's a little more expensive, but in the long run, it's definitely worth it. If you're looking for a microphone that you know you plan on using for a long, long time, you want quality, I think this is the best bet besides going up to like the ULXs, but then you're spending so much more money. This one gives you the same quality, maybe a little less reach, because like I said, you're not performing in a big ass, stadium. You are just performing at venues. And most of the time, the microphone is near you, but you do want everybody to sound great when they're in the microphone. It has a directional cardioid. It's basically located at the top. Some of these have a little more open sound, like this one on the SM58s, even though you do have the mic inside here. And in case you ever really wanted to know what I was talking about, maybe you sound a little confused. This is just a screen protector basically. And as you open it up, this is the actual microphone. This whole thing is just a screen protector, pop filter, everything. The microphone is actually right here. Okay, so you see the SM58 right here. Different microphone design, another filter in here to protect it. My guess is because it definitely has frequency issues, and this is a way of blocking some of those unwanted frequencies. As you can see here on the Beta 87, the microphone is actually wide open. It's a nice clean sound. It's more directional. You see the difference in size right here? The difference in size means that when you're talking on the microphone, this one's gonna pick up a lot more sound across the board, around the entire thing. Where this one, when you're talking on the microphone, you have to talk into it. And that means that two things. One, for people that are inexperienced with talking on a microphone, this one's gonna be a little harder. So if you do have, guess it's like, if they have that, they do that, it's gonna be harder to hear them. So you have to tell them, speak into the microphone. That way they're getting the full sound into it. But what it does also is because it is directional, it's gonna take out a lot of that unwanted noise from around the room because it's picking up directly your voice into the microphone. Unlike this one, where if you're talking like this, yes, it's picking up a lot more of you who has improper microphone handling, but it also picks up everybody else in the room, and you're gonna have to deal with that. If you are looking for kind of uncompromised quality, the SLX is the one for you. Now, I can't tell you which one you should buy because everybody's price points are different. Everybody's price range and what they can afford are different. So, having said that, I'm gonna tell you this. Do not buy the BLX. Stay away from this thing. Don't even think about it. If you buy this and you come and tell me you bought it, I'm gonna smack your mama. So don't do that. What you should buy is the PGX system. If you are on a budget and you're not sure that what you can afford, good quality, very durable, very dependable. This is the one that's gonna have the best bang for the buck. This one, PGX system with the SM58. If you have more money to spend, I'm not gonna say if money is no issue, but if you had more money to spend and you were looking for a really good quality microphone, the SLX is the standard for quality and excellence in microphones. Could you go higher to the ULXs and things like that? Of course you can. Do you need to for DJing? No, you don't. If you bought the SLX system, you'd be just fine. GLX system, stay away from it. Stay away from it like the plague. One thing you should note of, and I'm gonna talk about that in another video, and that is frequencies. When you buy microphones, you want to stay off the 600 megahertz spectrum, because that's now been reserved by the FCC for, I believe it's cell service. So T-Mobile, I believe, is on that spectrum, and they're reserving others for it too. So there are a couple of different wireless ranges, like 613 to 616 or 614, and I think 680 or something like that. But if you see a microphone and it's on the 600 megahertz spectrum, just stay away. Stay away. There's no reason to be on there. Most of the commercial ones are either in two different spectrums. That is the 500 spectrum or the 800 and 900 spectrum. And that's going to avoid a lot of your issues. And we're going to talk about that in my next video coming up, about which spectrums you should avoid and why and what the problem is. So make sure you subscribe so you can see the next video. Hit that bell notification icon to make sure that you are notified when I post. Oh, I know I didn't talk about Sennheiser or any of the other companies out there. I know they make good products, but at the moment I've been using Shure products for a while. I've used Sennheiser. They're an excellent sounding microphone. Kind of ugly, but that's just my opinion. But they do the job, and they do the job very, very well. But leave in the comments below what you're using. Are you using Shure microphones? Are you using Sennheisers or something else? Are you using some ghetto microphones? Put them in there. Let's talk about it. Follow me on the Instagrams and the Twitters right here. Always a pleasure. If I don't talk to you later, we'll talk soon. Peace.